They got Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Atlanta for you. Here's Scott. We got EOP back on here. I know we covered the Atlanta a few days ago. That game we didn't have EOP. The purpose of this video isn't to compare the builds, but you'll be able to see the previous video. A lot of fires. Okay, we're not getting a lot of raw damage when we're hitting these battleships, but due to the higher fire starting chance there, we just get more fires and get a lot of damage that way. Here, when we're hitting these superstructures, hitting the deck of these battleships, you're actually going to see a lot more numbers, white numbers pop up on screen. That's the raw damage, okay? EOP, that legendary skill perk, that increases the penetration of those HE shells, allowing them to penetrate, lets them actually do the raw damage. Fire chance, cut way down, okay? So you can keep an eye on that in the background. But why we're covering this game today, it's a very complex game. This is one of those, how do we win the game, okay? And this is going to continue to change throughout the match. Like I say, this is a complex game. We start in the southeast corner, and we're going to wind up finishing the game on the A cap, okay? So that's how all over the place this match is going to be. Now, recently in this last update, they changed the spawns. The language in the patch notes said we're going to try and group these ships up closer to each other. One of the main things I've noticed is on north here, I've played this map a few times since the update, and we no longer see ships spawning all the way on the eastern side of the map. Recently, in the last 2 or 3 updates, you'd see 1 or 2 ships all the way on the east. Of course, there's no cap over there, so it's kind of a dead position in terms of strategic value, but sometimes you'd have engagements over there. So far, I haven't seen that over here. So now we're clumped up below C. We got Destroyer, Jervis moving in. We're moving over here to utilize this island. And here pops up the Hatsuhara. We also have the carrier south of us. He's moving more towards the center of the map. But he did spawn over here. We're going to be trying to pile on with this Hatsuhara. We're going to be shooting a lot. This is actually going to come down to the Jervis. Doing a great job here. He's rushing. The Hatsuhara deploys the smoke. He's within our radar range, 8.4. We did check that a moment ago. And if need be, we'll go ahead and pop this. I'm actually having difficulty hitting this guy. I'm assuming he's backing up. We're launching some salvos here. But the Jervis, and maybe another support ship that I'm not noticing, but they're doing a great job piling on the damage. Finally, the gunner's dialing the target, and we get the kill. But again, great job from that destroyer. But that's basically what we're there to do, support that destroyer. Okay, so we've deployed over here. Now we've attacked their piece that was responsible for contesting the base, capturing the base. The destroyer, we removed him. Our destroyer should have a clear chance to capture this base now. CNOT pushing in. We do have the smoke in between us here. When we zoom out, we can see that. Since these are free shots, nobody else is within our white firing ring on the map. Might as well go ahead and take these shots. And you can see when we're hitting this deck here, under the previous build when we're not running EOP, we wouldn't be getting this raw damage. But here you're seeing, you know, anywhere from 500 to a couple thousand damage every time we're hitting these ships here. So even though the CNOP's trying to back away from us, trying to disengage, we're just pushing in, trying to push him back. Okay, we always talk about this when we talk about the American light cruisers. Basically, you get them into a position, and then they serve as an anchor. Okay, if the enemy wants to push into it, they're going to have not a fun time, or they're going to have to push into this steady stream of golden nastiness. They don't want to do that, and they're going to get demoralized and back off, or eventually killed if they persist in their endeavors. Anyway, here one of the ships to the northeast, or northwest, sorry, is actually coming over here. He's spotting us. Perhaps the CNOPS is as well. You can see 3 ships, 2 ships targeting us. I would assume all 3 of these battleships seen in Atlanta. Number 1, we're a radar cruiser, and with 1 destroyer left on the map, we do have a heightened importance in terms of target selection, but we're also kind of an annoying target that a lot of people would like to shoot, especially a CNOP, who we've been punishing for the last couple minutes. So I'm kind of surprised he actually shot elsewhere, even though he was briefly targeting us. But we're continuing to push in here with the idea we're going to try and get over to B, but since we're spotted here anyways, and thus far we haven't really been punished, we still got plenty of HP to play around with. We're just going to try and push this CNOP back, maybe get some damage. Here we see the Mutsu, that's another attractive target. This ship, we can do a lot of raw damage, lighter deck armor, superstructure, susceptible to this type of attack, but he's blocked off by the mountains now as we both disengage, and we pull away from the Leon and the CNOP. Okay, so the CNOP sitting back there saying, okay, I just lost 40k health, 45k, whatever it is. I'm on fire. What am I going to do? I can't push into C. We have the destroyer sitting on there, but we're recognizing, okay, we got C. We're leaving it in a state of being where these guys can actually go back and recapture it. So we're not going to try and completely abandon this position. What I'm trying to do is get this Jervis over here, the destroyer, to come with me, get on B, because you can see the Mutsu is actually recognizing, okay, C ain't a, that's not happening. All right, we're not dealing with that Atlanta. They've got other support ships back there. There's a destroyer sitting on the cap. Whatever's going through his mind, he's not thinking about C anymore. He's thinking about B, which is actually a really strong play, because you can see on the western side of the map, red appears to be, they're sustaining some losses, yes, but they're playing on the cap. You know, if you draw that line through the center of the map there, horizontal, they're on the cap roughly. They're not exactly on the cap, but they're playing around it, whereas our team's playing way behind it, a couple squares south. So in effect, they control A. All they got to do is actually get on that cap, and then they'll go ahead and capture it. We don't want them to get B here for free, which the Mutsu is attempting to do. I don't want to charge into the Mutsu. Let's be serious here. I'm a lightly armored cruiser. Yeah, I got torps, but what am I going to do? He's going to kill me before I even get to him. So I'm trying to let this Jervis catch up here, take the lead. I want him to get on the cap. I'm going to support him here. We're going to cycle this Mutsu's damage con, light him on fire, hopefully, pepper him with some damage, and then if the Jervis hits him with a torp or two, the Flood should kill him. So that's the game plan. The Jervis is actually doing a pretty good job reading the play here. So he's had a strong game thus far. He's moving a little bit aggressively here, though. He's going to kind of suicide torp this guy, and I don't know if he dies here or not. I think he actually survives, but takes a lot of damage. We dodge Mutsu there, and we're piling on some damage here. We got fires, trying to hit that superstructure. You can see the raw damage. Pretty juicy every time we hit it. And Jervis, he's got these islands behind him. You can see the islands between us and the Jervis, the one on the screen and then the one to the left when we zoom out. He can't really disengage from this position. He also dropped the smoke, and then he sailed out of the smoke, and then maybe he was dropping the smoke for us, I don't know. But he sailed out of there and then launches the torps, and he's getting piled on. You can see Leon back there. Leon shoots HE this entire game. I don't understand why Leon pilots usually shoot HE, but they do quite often. But Mutsu and Leon both attempting to attack him. And he's low health. I guess he does survive there. We would like him to immediately turn around and get on B. And then we're keeping an eye on C here, because what we're talking about, and here the New Mexico actually pings us. So we definitely turn our attention over here at this point in time. CNOP got his courage back. He's like, okay, that pesky Atlanta's moved on. Let's go ahead and get C. That's the source of blue team's income. If we can stop that, this game should be ours. Because you can see we're both down 4 ships. We're up 120 points, and that's because we've controlled the C uncontested for the majority of the game. Jervis moving into B here, and I'm like, great. Okay, don't need to pay attention to him. He's doing a good job. He's going to sit on the cap, capture that, and then do whatever else. Hopefully counter the remaining destroyer. That'd be a great destroyer game. He's going to get a little overzealous, though. Okay, up to this point, pretty good destroyer game, but then he's got moon eyes when it comes to Leon. He's going to try and rush him, suicide torp him. It's not going to work. I believe he dies at this point in time, but he doesn't get the base, which is kind of frustrating because we need this income. A is now under red control, so both teams getting 3 points every 5 seconds. Okay, this is going to be one of the keys to this game, understanding the scoring. These caps, you can see it on the scoreboard there. Every 5 seconds will say +3 under each of our scores. That's from the caps that we controlled. Because they're on C, they're contesting our cap. We're not actually getting that income at the moment, so we need to kill this CNOP here, reclaim or free up our cap to produce that income, because this game, like I alluded to early in the video here, going to come down to the wire. And it's going to come down to the wire in terms of score. So you can say, well, okay, look, we got high caliber already. We're only 8 minutes in this game. Looks like a high damage game. Great. We're interested in high damage games, of course, but this game is going to be down to the scoring, and this is what we're focusing on. You can see here the consternation when we realized the Jervis did not capture B. He sailed towards the Leon. And that could cost us the game very well. I mean, luckily for him, we do manage to pull out the win here at the last moment, but that play should have actually probably cost us the win. And now he goes down from the Leon. I think he was probably getting spotted by the carrier. So pretty good game by the Jervis up until that point. Got a little overzealous. Lost sight of the goals, which in domination mode is to control these bases and cost our team the remaining destroyer. Nevertheless, we're still up 110 points here. We've saved C, and there's no realistic threats over there anymore. So hopefully our team will recognize that. But keep an eye on what's going on in the West, because this is going to come down, or it's going to be a critical part of the evaluation of the end game here. We got that battleship. He's been sailing all the way south. He's been trailed by a battleship and a destroyer. Presumably the battleship's been blasting him every 30 seconds with, he's angled. Yes, he's sailing away from him, but he's still presumably sustaining damage. He's so far away from us, we can't check his health. You can see me doing it all the time. When we lock our guns, we'll scan the enemy's health. We'll scan our own team's health. You want to continually do that because that's going to inform your decision making. Are these ships likely to survive this engagement or not? If not, then you got to account for that on the scoreboard. We got briefly spotted there, presumably by the destroyer. Leon shot us once again with the HE. We were able to dodge. I don't know why it is. It's American battleships, usually are played by new players. They always shoot HE when they shouldn't be. And then this Leon, I don't know. I understand it's lower caliber guns, but I very rarely would shoot HE in the ship. Now, he will get us with a good HE salvo later. You'll see it'll be an effective salvo, but I think if he's hitting us with AP, potentially he's got a better shot at killing us. But we're rushing into these guys, okay? We know where the destroyer is roughly, because we saw the torps come from that gap to the left, basically where that aim indicator is pointing right now. And we got the Leon moving right to left on the screen, closing in. Okay, and now we're spotted. We know, okay, there's the Maz, pops up, but we're closing in for two reasons. We want to close in on that Maz, and he's within radar range. Mistake here, we need to pop the sonar. Almost get hit by a torp here. I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're going to kill this guy quickly. Don't need to use the sonar, but what else are we going to use the sonar for? You got the consumables, might as well use it. Maybe we're going to get hit by these torps here. We're going to try and make sure we get these shots off. Luckily, we dodged the torps. But because we're moving into this island here, the Leon hasn't had a shot for us for probably a minute or so. And that's a deliberate repositioning on our part. So we moved forward, closing distance to this island for two reasons. To close in on that destroyer and to protect ourselves from Leon. Now, his correct play would be to move through that gap and blow us up. We're already driven off the cap here. We can no longer capture B, unfortunately. And we'll explain the scoring conundrum here. But Leon's closing in on the gap. If we try and back up, he'll just... Assuming he loaded AP, which... Okay, he probably didn't, but assuming he did, he could one-shot us very easily. There, we launched the torps because we didn't know where he was. We had AP loaded. He was going a little bit faster than we predicted, so we didn't get much of a salvo there. We got 11k. He got, I don't know, whatever that was. A lot of mod damage knocked out, sure, but we continue to move north. So, take an eye on the map, or put an eye on the map, see what's going on. That guy that's been kiting for the last 5 minutes or whatever, he's still going. And again, we're evaluating at this point in time, how do we win this game? We have to assume he's very low. Also, we have this New Mexico that's by B. Okay, right to the southeast of B. He's in New Mexico trying to 1v1 a Leon, essentially. So in our thinking, and then we got a carrier on both sides who their carrier is attacking our battleships. Okay, so that's the underlying notion we're dealing with. When we're evaluating this, what are we doing? We're looking at the score and we're saying, are we up by 200 points? If not, how do we deal with this? Why is that critical? Because if we lose a battleship, I don't know the exact point spread. Maybe they get 60, we lose 40. Maybe they get 70, we lose 30. It doesn't matter. The score changes by 100 points when a battleship goes off the board, okay? And we're saying to ourselves, Leon's probably going to kill New Mexico, and whatever's all the way down south there is probably going to die because he's been getting shot at for quite a long time. Here's the biggest mistake we make in this match. We actually drop anchor here, trying to support this guy, trying to whittle him down, hoping we can kill him, keep that New Mexico alive on our team. But look at the score. Because we're not up by 200 and because we're assuming both these battleships could die, we need to be on their cap. That will help the increase of the red points passively. And if we can change that 522, we need to be at 542 at this point in time. You can see their score just went up to 341. We need to be 200 points ahead of that because we're once again assuming the battleships are going to die. If they don't die, great. Then it's an easy win. But if they do die, how are we already countering this? And we need to be doing that by stopping their accrual points. So when I'm sailing over here, I'm like, God, this is a pretty good game. The video we're going to make of this is just going to be me talking about how I threw the game by trying to counter that Leon by shooting at him. I can't sink that Leon in the time that he had, and once he committed to rushing the New Mexico, I couldn't sink him. So I thought I didn't get over here quick enough to increase the score. So we had over a 200-point lead. But now that we're closing in here, I'm like, okay, maybe this is going to work. And we actually do get on the cap, okay? So we're going to continue to get our 3 points every 5 seconds in the background. B, nobody's going to capture it, so that produces none. and then their source of income, A, we're on it. That halts their production. Whether or not we capture this base, irrelevant. Okay, we need to raise the score to, at this point in time, 569. Okay, and we're going to be able to do that because every 5 seconds we get 3 extra points. They get none passively. This Leon's going to kill the New Mexico right there. There's the 100-point swing. We're down by 97 or whatever. Now we're down by 94, and in a matter of 10 seconds, we're actually going to be in the lead. Okay, so recognizing the score, recognizing when the battleships die, that's a 100-point swing. We talk about it a lot. That's what we mean by that. Recognizing that, countering this base, capturing this base, or contesting it at the very minimum. Now we're over 100 points. If that battleship down south dies, which I cannot believe he's been alive this long, either he's doing a great job dodging, or Red's not doing the best job shooting him, or he's doing a great job angling. I don't know what he's doing down there, but great job. But anyway, that's a look at the Atlanta for you guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy that one. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.